The Cards run the state still, CC, and it wasn't particularly pretty. We're going to talk about all that, and we're going to talk a lot more on today's episode of the Cardinal Companion. Go ahead and roll that film. Welcome on into the Cards Companion. As always, good morning or good afternoon, depending on when and where you're watching in from. I'm joined as always by my fabulous co-host, the OG CC. How you doing, baby?
Good, man. Good. Hard not to be feeling good after a weekend like that. Got a little extra food with the family, and a nice beat down to seal the weekend.
Yeah, man, it's hard. So if you're living under the rock, old kitty cats of Kentucky to come up to L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium, they lose 41-0. It was not particularly close the entire game.
I don't even think you could use the word close or anything similar to that in that game. The closest point it was an hour before kickoff.
Cards are without their starting running back, Isaac Brown, their backup running back, Duke Watson, their third string running back, Kewan Brown, their starting wide receiver, Chris Bell, I guess wide receiver one, Chris Bell. Miller Moss, their quarterback, is very limited throughout the day. They're without their star backer and on the defense. It was a skeleton crew, and brother, it didn't look competitive.
No, there was not one point in that game that I was like in any fear, concerned at all. Like genuinely leading up to kickoff, I literally went into it like an open mind. I was like, see what happens. You know, I personally was not super optimistic throughout the week leading up to it. You know, with the injuries, you know, how we kind of finished out the regular season in the ACC. Just going into that, I was like, let's see what happens. And boy, we all saw what happened.
I mean, hand to God, I came on this program last week. I said this was going to be a low-scoring affair, rock fight. I mean, I didn't think Kentucky was going to score very many points, and they didn't. They scored 0. I had no idea what we were getting into with Louisville. I mean, my goodness. A lot of the takeaway from this game, especially with the recent events of Mark Stoops being fired, is a lot of people just want to talk about Kentucky. But, I mean, talking about the Cards here, man, you have walk-ons rushing for 100-plus yards. I mean, you have what I would honestly consider this is probably Miller Moss's best game as a Cardinal.
Hands down.
I mean, he looked composed. You could tell he's battling through injury, you know, and I've come on this program a lot. I've said a lot of mean things about Miller Moss on here, on social media. But you know what, man? He went out there and he had himself a heck of a game, and he showed a lot about himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, he has definitely caught a lot of criticism from us, and, you know, just across Louisville media, Louisville fans. But to go out there, show out like he did Saturday, that built a lot of respect. I'm not going to say it, you know, fix the bridge, but I think you go out at home with a game like that, you know, I think it shows a lot about him. You know, he actually prepared how much he actually wanted that game. Because the thing was, like, it wasn't just like him getting lucky with passes. That's literally the best we've seen him play. It wasn't just a couple good plays. Like, that was a different Miller Moss. And I'm to the point, I'm like, wow, where was that?
Yeah.
It almost makes me more upset.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, you know, when we've seen him look good this season, it's always been very short little, hey, get the ball Chris Bell 5 yards, let Chris Bell do Chris Bell things. But what you saw this week was his ability really pushing the ball down the field. And that's something they've tried to do all season. And it just worked this week, point blank.
Yep. It didn't really matter who it was. No. I mean, Meeks was in on it.
Collins, Meeks, Colin Lacey just going out there, by the way. Just putting it all out there, man.
Yeah, that was, I don't even want to say Lacey game because I don't think that was his best game, but what a ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, clearly playing through injury, just getting involved any way he could. You earn a lot of respect for guys when they do stuff like that. Talking a lot of just hitting on the 5,000-foot view of the offense, switching over the defense. That's the defense you've been seeing all season. You know, with the exception of a few little moments. I mean, I think you ended the game with 7 sacks. Does that sound right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, and you're playing with, I would say, arguably your most important player in your scheme, Antonio Watts. Constant disruption. The secondary wasn't giving up anything. The D-line was just having their way with Kentucky's offensive line. The linebackers are good, but that's to be expected. I'm sorry, I even forgot about it. Stanquan Clark didn't play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
which we can get into in a little bit.
Yeah, we will talk about that. That's That's a fun conversation. Special teams, they get involved, and we're seeing guys that we don't typically see a lot of. Guys like Eric Hazard get in there and just make massive swing plays in the special teams, blocking punts. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome, man.
Absolutely. It was genuinely a full team effort,
Hmm.
um, as it should be in football. Yeah, you have true freshmen coming in blocking punts. You've got true freshmen, walk on running backs, coming in, like you said, rushing. I think he was averaging just right around 6 yards a carry, rushing over 100 yards. You got Sean Boykins, a wide receiver that has shifted more
Yeah.
into that running back role, which he's a big boy, but I think that he can bring a lot of danger as a weapon moving forward.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just this team effort. I think this is the best I felt about the team as a unit after a game all season. Well, Miami.
After
Give
Miami,
Miami, yeah, Miami. But just a complete game, all sides of the ball. It really felt like the little silly penalties got fixed. We did have penalties, but it was nowhere near like what we've seen all this season. The game got chippy at a lot of points, but the guys really kept their composure. There's a little bit of a pregame kerfunkle, didn't phase the guys, and it just shows a lot of maturity from the guys on the team.
100%. The biggest takeaway I have is you didn't see a lot of that like composure breakup
Yeah.
that comes from this game every single year.
Hmm.
Um, little spats here and there, but overall, like it wasn't like there's times where it seemed like it was after every play.
Yeah.
So just to actually get out there, play a relatively clean game.
Yeah. And I mean that this is one of those games where obviously it already has with the news of Mark Stoops being fired yesterday. But this is one of those that completely just changes the trajectory of the rivalry.
Yeah.
You look at the
Yeah.
modern football series and it's come down to Louisville's had really three big spurts of like just completely blowing the doors off Kentucky, and Kentucky's had one spurt of that. And this looks kind of like, hey, this is kind of here to stay.
Yeah, no, this reminds me of the Louisville football that like I grew up,
Hmm.
at 8, 10 years old, watching the Bobby Petrino days, the Charlie Strong days and stuff. It was, my family's not from Kentucky, or my wife's family's not from Kentucky, so that's what we were actually talking about Saturday, as we were watching some games. I was like, well, this is what I grew up doing, or
Hmm.
being part of, and I was like, it was just expected.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to say it's going to be expected, especially with the new coach and everything, but it does feel like last year was great, but this year it feels like almost like we're settling in.
Yeah, it does. I mean, just being completely honest and point blank, you put up 41 and you could have put up 50.
Yeah,
There
you
were
put up
several.
41 JV team.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that's what with walk-ons,
Yeah,
Um, it's been a long time since we've seen a game like this from either side. And to be able to
yeah.
do it with walk-ons is it's big. It's big.
82-14 in the last 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I mean, the thing I will say, not looking too far forward, but when you look at the state of Kentucky in high school recruiting in especially 2026 and 27, you got some real talent in the state, like what the likes that we haven't seen very often. And just this little run of dominance that you're going on, that's going to go a long way with some of those kids.
100%. I mean, this is something that one, a lot of them were there Saturday.
Oh,
They
dude, they had a
watched it
massive visitor
first.
list.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
watched it firsthand. And then, it's not like it was a one-time thing now. Like you're showing that this is the new regular.
Mhm.
I think it's massive, absolutely massive. You're always gonna have kids like, and one thing that I always will defend recruits on, because it's happened to Louisville a couple times in the last year, where, if you just grew up, that is your team, your dad played for that team, whatever, and you still commit there, I'm not going to be mad. Like, I respect that, if
Mhm.
anything. Louisville's lost 2 players to Ohio State in the last year. Both of those kids grew up within 45 minutes
Of
of
Columbus. Yeah. Yeah.
Columbus, and everyone's like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah," blah. Like, dude, that's their like home. That's who they've
Yeah.
grown up watching every
Yeah.
Saturday their entire life. I was like, I'm never going to be mad at a kid for that. So you're still going to get that. You're still going to get kids from Lexington, Eastern Kentucky that, but I think primarily when you're talking like high level talent in the state, it's really shaping up. There's only one place to go.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fortunate for Louisville also because you're seeing a lot of this high level talent really start to develop out in Western Kentucky now also.
Yeah.
And those are the kids you can get them kids all day, every day with results like this.
Yeah. I mean, you got Chris
Hughes. You just had a Western Kentucky kid do that at running back.
He's from Ashland.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. He's from Ashland. I'm sorry. He's from Ashland.
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking polar opposite ends. You've now pulled a kid from Ashland. You've pulled kids from Louisville.
Is it Chris Hughes from Union County?
Yeah. Chris is from Union.
Chris is from Western. Yeah. He's from
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And you're in talks with, you've got I believe they're commits already, from Paducah Tillman. Like you're getting literally the whole gamut of the state right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's a fun time, man.
It is
fun time.
I do want to point out the disparity on the stat sheet. If you guys have not looked at just the side-by-side comparison on the stats, this is why I say like this game was never once close. Literally, this is the craziest thing. First downs, Kentucky had 10, we had 26. 26 first downs I'm going to take all day long. Passing yard, we were 2 for 2 on fourth down, by the way, which I know. I was like, that's
big for us. We don't see that a lot.
It is. You don't.
It's been a struggle this season.
It has. 440 total yards to Kentucky's 140, 182 passing to Kentucky's 100. But this is where I think it kind of shines. Those 182 yards came on 21 throws and 12 completions. Pretty decent right there. I mean, you're over 50%, especially when you got an injured Miller Moss. Averaging almost 10 yards in there. And then, like we said, the freshman walk-on running back / wide receiver converted to running back, put up 258 yards total, 2 touchdowns. So it's just great work.
Yeah.
Only thing, no turnovers. We
love that. Hey, my boy Hutch.
Twice, though.
My boy Hutch.
Dude.
Have yourself a day, dude.
Dog.
So does Cutter Boley have a Louisville problem? I mean, it's genuinely the 2 worst games he's ever played.
I don't, and that's the thing that like is wild to me. It's because he got hyped up so much. Like before the game last year, they were like, "This is going to be the future," and then he came out, played the second half, and it reminded me of the Jets. Anytime they play like the Patriots, it was like just seeing ghosts. Couldn't get a pass off, throwing passes 10, 15 yards over, behind, ahead, everywhere. And I came out, and he looked pretty decent this season. Not great, but looked decent, looked serviceable.
He looked like a serviceable underclassman quarterback.
He did. And that was
guy that
whole
is
thing
progressing.
Yeah, and I was like, well, it's like this is going to, and that was one of my big things why I wasn't confident, 100% confident in going into the game. And then you just seen that come out, and it was just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Seeing again. Man was living in the graveyard.
Yeah. The one little bugaboo I got from this game on the Louisville perspective. I don't know what in the heck happened at the end of the first half with the field goal and letting 20 seconds run off.
I read something. Evidently the wind was gusting and I guess they were trying to they were literally standing there just waiting for the wind to die down. This is what I read. Just saying. I'm not saying this is fact, but essentially they went out there and they were like, hey, run the clock down, try to get wait for the wind to die down. If it does, snap it, kick it. If it doesn't, come off the field.
With the struggles of clock management at the end of halves, you could see where I'm a little skeptical.
I'm not saying that's a defense. I'm just saying that's the only thing that even had like the slightest bit of merit to it. Because I don't live in Louisville, but I will say like Saturday it was windy as hell here. But I'm essentially directly east, but I'm not saying that was it. That's the only thing I've actually seen about it, though. I would have loved to have seen a question. I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not even nitpicking now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk some about Kentucky. So obviously, I mean, it's going to be, before we get into this, This is not the pick on Kentucky show. They're your rival, yes. I say this all the time. I worry about the state of football inside of the state of Kentucky. And objectively, when you had the University of Kentucky the way they've been there for the past 2 years, it's not good for football inside the state of Kentucky. So, kind of a little bit of a drama filled day yesterday. Rumors start coming around early in the morning that the board of trustees at UK want to move on from Stoops. Starts coming out Barnhart doesn't want to. And then, like 4 hours later, I think it was Strebel, out of all people. Strebel got it first. Strebel put out, hey, Stoops is gone. I was like, huh.
At like 4 o'clock.
Yeah. And then I guess around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, the news started hitting the national scene that, hey, Stoops is actually gone. I'll be honest with you, this is directly because of the Louisville game.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you just.
I mean,
I'll say
I'm
wanna
not
hear your
comfortable saying
thoughts.
but it's the cherry on top, in my opinion. Like two things can be true. You can have come in and had Kentucky's best season in modern football, or seasons, best run, whatever you want to say, and it's still time for you. It's essentially the exact same situation as Calipari, just with a little bit more losing.
A lot more losing.
You can, yes, a lot more.
A lot more losing.
You can be the best thing that's ever happened to this program and still be time for you to pack your.
Yeah. The reason I say that, hey, this is because of the Louisville result, Kentucky exceeded their win expectations this season.
They did.
I mean,
They did.
Granted, their schedule was very wonky because you got wins over Florida, who fired their coach, Auburn fired their coach. I mean, you played Texas close,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, man, it was 41-0. It really looked like your guys gave up on you. And the fact that Louisville did that with backups and walk-ons says a lot about the foundation your program is built on, just point blank.
I mean, to be fair, if I was a Power 4 program player and I had a freshman walk-on running back come in and run through me and run all over me, I'm saying I'd quit, but I get it.
And I mean, that's a walk-on that 9 out of 10 times goes to Kentucky.
Yeah.
That is your backyard. That is your fence. And I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately I think it was time for Stoops to move, if you want my honest opinion. I think this was a really bad year to do it, though. It was a really, really bad year to do it. I mean,
that's what we've talked about.
It's been talked about by Kentucky fans for, I mean, it feels like 2 years now. Hey, John Summerall's our guy. John Summerall's our guy. And literally 30 minutes after John Summerall, I guess not 30, well, a few hours after John Summerall's announced to Florida, that's when you make your move. Like, that's a complete failure by your athletics department.
I almost wonder if there was conversations prior anyways where they knew that he wasn't interested.
That's fair.
Mean, there's got to be something, and then maybe like, and essentially more or less waiting. I don't know. There has to be something there, because you can't tell me there hadn't been a conversation there at some point.
Yeah.
Just with the ties.
Well,
but
and
at the end of the day, like,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna. I mean, if I'm in a position like that, like one of the top up and coming coaches, like, I'm gonna take Florida over Kentucky regardless.
It's
I mean,
Florida.
there's some jobs that, like there's just some jobs that you're getting better recruiting in Florida.
The head coach of Florida has every built-in advantage he could possibly need to be a perennial college football player.
Yeah, you have a history of national championships. I mean, you have one of the biggest hotbeds of talent in the country. Like, it's insane. You have one of the best football developmental school programs or whatever right down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Florida's one of those positions where you don't have to go after the 4 and 5s; they come to you.
Essentially, yeah.
They grow up Florida fans.
Yeah.
Which
totally different conversation. That's one thing I've never understood, why you get to see so many Miami kids coming out of Miami. But
yeah. Continuing though along the lines of that conversation, another little Louisville topic. It's looking like that their top target's going to be Sonny Will Stein. If you guys don't know, Will Stein, Oregon OC, he's been doing a phenomenal job. He's kind of been thrown around a lot as one of the better OCs in the country. Really innovative brand of offense that he's been running out there. Dante Moore and all those guys under Dan Lanning. They've had a really, really good system. His name's popping up for Kentucky. He's from outside of Lexington, correct?
I believe so.
So for that reason, he'd be interested. If I'm not mistaken, his family grew up Kentucky fans. He tried to walk on to Kentucky and was told no, and then came to Louisville and got a win over Kentucky. But that's who it looks like it's going to be, and that's going to add such of a dynamic, just intrigue to this rivalry going forward, in my opinion.
So Will was actually born in Louisville.
Oh, was he?
It says, but I don't know if that's where he lived. It just says it's where he was born.
Okay.
I do not know his life story, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, I think you're in a similar boat. I think that one's at least more likely because with Will, that's a chance for him to move home, be closer to family, be closer to where he's from. At the end of the day, though, like, one, is that what he wants?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very successful young coach. Does he want to move back to Kentucky?
Yeah.
Two, you're in a similar situation like with Sumrall. There's so many openings. You can't tell me his phone hasn't been ringing. There's probably going to be some more openings this week.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, yeah, could he? I think, yeah, I guess. I'm sure he could, but it's like, is that what he wants? Or, do you want to risk coming to a program that has historically struggled
Mm-hmm.
and that's your first head coaching job? UK is just not set up to compete at a high level in the SEC, and you're just coming into a gauntlet.
Yeah. I'll be very honest, and if you want to call me a little homer, call me a little homer. Go for it, man. When there was a possibility of Kentucky getting John Sumrall, that worried me because I know he's a really, really good coach. I know that guy can coach. Yeah. I don't feel.
I've watched him coach.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it at Troy. I've seen it at Tulane. I can't get away from John Sumrall. He's a great coach. I do not feel that way with Will Stein. And I mean that as respectfully as possible to Will Stein.
I think with Will, you've just not seen it. Like, he's not been in that head coaching position. There's no track record on it where you can be like, this is the proof he can coach a football team.
Mm-hmm.
As all you've seen as of now is he's recruiting with the highest NIL budget in the country. I mean, Oregon.
Top three.
You're competing with top three, yeah.
Top three.
You're out there with, like, just Oregon as a whole, like, recruits itself. I mean,
it does.
It's similar to like the Florida.
It's Nike. It's the
but
swoosh.
Also, yeah, it is the Nike school. So, but on top of that, you're also getting, you're play calling and running the entire team, totally different worlds.
Yeah.
So,
and I'll be honest, there's coaches on the market right now that are realistic names for Kentucky to get that do worry me, like a John Sumrall would. I'll be point blank. I think Dan Mullen is exactly who they need to go after. And I'm not saying that to troll. I'm not saying anything like that. That guy can coach ball teams. But I think that Kentucky... I mean, yeah, we've seen it time and time again. Dan Mullen is a heck of a ball coach. That is a hire right there. That is a Louisville fan. I'm like, that's a good hire.
Uh-huh.
But I think that Kentucky is kind of chalking themselves into doing this cute little hire like a Chip Kelly or a Will Stein. And for the Will Stein conversation, there's a reason why outside of catastrophic events, coordinators don't get hired as head coaches in the SEC. Obviously, we just saw it at Ole Miss with Pete Golding. Not the same situation at all. Nowhere near the same situation. We saw it in Mississippi State after Mike Leach passed away. Again, not the same situation at all. Completely different situation. Yeah. It's not things that we see in mass because it doesn't always work. Or it's not proven, I guess. And at that level of football, it has to be proven. What's that?
Yeah, no, I think it rarely works. I said I think it rarely works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little side. I think that's a brilliant move by Ole Miss. That's
I love Pete
Golding. At least I think it's a brilliant move. And if anything, you're just patting yourself so you can get the hell out of this hiring circle.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Dude,
is
I'll be honest.
In my opinion.
I'll be honest with you. Year 3 Satterfield, I was going on Twitter trying to get us to hire Pete Golding, and then he got a DUI, and I had to stop. And then I had to stop that.
Yeah. That did be happening. No, I think you're spot on with it. I mean, and you can almost say that power program wide. I mean, yes, there are a couple situations. There's also a couple schools where, at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter who the coach is. They're gonna get recruits. They're gonna get players. They're gonna win games.
It's just not a
You're
thing
taking a
that we're
big
seeing.
risk. Yeah, I think it's just too big of a risk, but we shall see.
We'll see if it works out. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. If I'm Kentucky, I'm trying to make a move very soon. Truthfully, trying to get this
Yeah.
over in like a week.
Especially with the
I don't know.
portal. The portal.
Feels like they really fumbled a bag with a lot of the talent that was in the AAC that just all moved up a few hours before you fired your coach. But it is surprising to me. Did you know Mark Stoops was the longest tenured coach in the SEC?
I did not.
Yeah.
That's a wild stat.
Yeah, he was the highest tenured coach in the SEC. Yeah, he's the kind of the last of that old guard, dude.
Huh. I didn't even thought about that. But yeah, that's wild.
And I'll tell you what, right now, I
Huh.
think if Mark Stoops wants to, he will bounce back into football very easily, very very easily.
Oh yeah.
This is also the
Because
first time since
I don't think.
I was going to say this is also the first time since 1988 that a Stoops has not been a coach in the college football level, or I guess in divisional, between him and his brother.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
It's a long time.
yeah.
The thing with that, I don't think Stoops is a terrible coach. I think that goes back to Kentucky is a program that is just going to like it's not set up for success, and you have to have a coach come in that can bridge that gap.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a terrible coach. I don't think he's a terrible guy.
Yeah, I think it's a very draining situation, honestly. I think it's just a hard situation and it's draining. Moving on, though, from the Kitty Cats, though. Talked enough about them. For the Cards, the old Cards. Obviously, we're going into the portal season, going into bowl season, going into coaching change season. I still think we move on from Brian Brom, whether that be Brian gets a new job, which is looking a lot more plausible every day, in my opinion. Do I sound crazy in saying that, do you think?
I don't know how confident I am in it anymore.
I guess
I think
did
it's entirely
Saturday change
possible.
your did Saturday change your outlook, I guess?
I don't. It didn't me personally. I still think it's a change that needs to be made, but I think it's a change that's beneficial to everyone. Like I'm not saying get out here as a punishment. One, like, go get your wings. Because the thing with Brian, and like I've talked about this before, it's not like he doesn't have experience. Like he was the commissioner of the Canadian Football League. He's played in the NFL. He's been at like high level of football. He knows ball. Like I just go do your thing. Go win some football somewhere else. That's just the way I feel about it. But no, Saturday didn't change how I feel about that.
So the situation I'm watching like a hawk right now. Ty Helton, who's the head coach of Western Kentucky, his name is getting thrown a lot around, especially for these jobs like Tulane, South Florida. We've even seen his name thrown around a little bit from Memphis. It looks like he might be making a move up from Western. And I would really think if that Western position comes open, that's Brian's to lose, truthfully.
I mean, Brahms have already had success there, literally down the road. It's not that big of a change.
Yeah.
I think that's best case scenario, honestly.
I do too, and I think that's best for all parties.
100%. I mean, you're getting. I mean, well, I've said this for years. Like growing up in there, West Kentucky is essentially like mini Louisville. It's just the staff has went through there. Yeah, like it is. It's an extremely similar program.
It's always been extremely transactional.
So I think 100%, and I think that's somewhere that Brian could go succeed. I think you talk about Western or University of Kentucky, how they're almost set up to fail. I feel like Western's almost the polar opposite. Like they are almost set up to succeed a little bit more, just because now like Western's been pretty good for a long time now.
Yeah, man, they gotta get in the sun. They gotta get in the Sun Belt. They gotta get out of
and I'm not
CUSA.
disagreeing with it. Yep, I don't disagree with that at all. But I think you can go there and I don't want to say easily have success, but it's going to come a little bit easier. And I think that's a great position to go learn how to be a head coach. Because it's not going to be as aggressive. So
I agree. I think it'd be a really good fit for Brian. Really hope it works out. And none of that is official. Ty Helton has not taken another job. It's this time of the year. His name gets thrown around a lot, because he has been so successful with that program. One thing I loved from the staff during this game, midway through the fourth quarter, I just see a tweet pop up on my feed.
6 minutes and 12.
And it simply says, "Hello, Nick Roush, from our main man, the big dog."
I tried to put myself in Nick's shoes there. And I don't know if I'd have ever been so deflated in my life.
I'm going to tell you what. I can't say bad things about Nick. We're both the sales guys. Love Nick Roush. Nick Roush is also a cousin of Jeff Bromp, by the way, which is just hilarious. It adds an additional layer to all of this, which is hilarious. I don't know how public of information that is. He is a cousin of Jeff Bromp. It's those South End guys, dude. That whole South End circle, dude. There's like 6 last names in the South End. Everyone knows everyone. I mean, that was, I don't know. I don't know if I fully support tweeting in the middle of games, but that was some funny crap, man. That was some funny crap.
Yeah. I folded into the floor laughing. And like, I'm not going to say I support it either. But if you're going to do it ever, I mean,
take your shots while you can.
Some
man.
funny shit.
Take your shots on goal and the goalie ain't there.
There's not a way that could have been funny.
No.
It was just gold. I've actually think that they need to just add to his job resume, like, official troll.
Just make him the social media director.
Brilliant.
Just make him the social media director. Just constant big dog tweets. Lowercase, no punctuation. It's like once every 2 weeks, he'll just tweet like "best staff in America" at Jeff Brom. If you ever look at his Twitter page, dude, it's random stuff and just pictures with boosters. That's all it is.
I've got notifications on for him. Yeah, that was wild. While we're on the subject of the big dog, though, directly after the game, 3/4-star Chuck Alexander committed.
Yes,
wide receiver / defensive back out. We did lose one. To Rutgers.
Yeah, Anderson, right?
Which is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I
gained Alexander.
Yeah, I'm not the high school recruiting guy on the page. Don't talk to me about it. Hey man, it is what it is. If you want to hear my recruiting,
I think it's simple. You picked up a player the same position as ranked higher. I think he just didn't want to get recruited over. That's my opinion.
If you
it is what
if you
it
want
is.
If you want to hear my recruiting takes, tune into the show in about 2 weeks. We'll probably be doing about 3 of them a week.
Yeah.
With that being said, we are looking at a very busy portal session.
We are, and I think as long as they're looking at a very busy portal season as well.
Yeah. Realistically, right now, I think the way we look at it, you're probably taking 4 wide receivers, a quarterback, a tight end, 2 offensive tackles, 2 guards, 2 D tackles, a star backer, and 2 safeties, 1 strong, 1 weak, and like 2 cornerbacks, whatever that math ends up being. That's what I think you're looking at. So you're going to be busy. The nice thing, though, you do not have to replace your all-conference interior linebacker, is old Stanquan Clark.
Stanquan Clark. I need to see a post from him being like, "No, I'm staying," before I'm 100% excited. It's just that's the world of the portal. It was the same thing with Colin Lake this year. He redshirted, and then we're like, "Well, shit, is he coming back?" And then he did the announcement. I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I need something similar.
How would it make you feel if Stanquan played in the bowl game?
Doesn't count towards a red shirt, so I'm not against it.
Yeah, like, would it make you feel better?
If he played, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort of. I don't know. He's got limited tape this year, so is he playing just to get some tape for the portal?
Yeah. And then, speaking of bowl games, Louisville's bowl draws, predictions, they're all over the place. I mean, it's every single Tier 2 ACC bowl you can think of. Louisville's been tied to that bowl in some sort of prediction. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we were going. Sorry.
No, you go. Yeah, I was just saying we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the show. I mean, it's anything from the Fenway to the Pinstripe to the Sun Bowl, two that we actually were the happiest about were the Duke's Mayo Bowl was on there, and the Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
We've got to get a bowl where our fans can get there, dude.
Yeah, it's
I don't
been
want to
2
see a
years in
Sun
a
Bowl.
row.
Yeah. And we've been saying East Coast, like I didn't mean the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Military Bowl was on there. Like, yeah, no one wants to go play Navy in a Sub-Zero game. I think we deserve it.
I mean, it all happened. It all
Can I
matters what.
say
So
that I just seen?
what?
Evidently Greg Brom went through after the game and took all the players' belts.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I read that. I had to throw that out there. That was you're not allowed to celebrate. You're not
No,
allowed
it's
to
all
celebrate.
it's all going to depend on what happens with the college football playoff and the joke of an ACC conference championship game that we have and Miami. That's a different show, but dude, man, the ACC. I'm not a Miami guy. I don't like Miami, but that is ridiculous that you have Duke playing in that conference championship game, and it's because your tiebreakers are so asinine.
100%. And you've done this by bringing in teams that had no business in the ACC.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go on the soapbox for Miami, but Miami and Duke having the same record in the conference, but yet the 4-4 teams that Duke is beating in the conference are your Wake Forest and North Carolina States and Californias of the world, whereas Miami is beating your SMUs and your Louisvilles and your Pittsburghs, that are right on the back. Miami, genuinely one of the highest strength of records in the schedule in the country, doesn't have a stronger conference record than Duke, because that makes a load of sense.
Not even close.
Yeah, because that makes a load of sense. But hey, man, all 24 people at the ACC championship game. That's what the ACC wants.
Best of luck to it.
But we'll have more news though on the. I feel like come next weekend after the ACC title game, we'll have a very clear picture on what bowl we'll be going to. I kind of lean more towards the Duke Mayonnaise Bowl personally, but it wouldn't surprise me to see what's the bowl in Annapolis called? Is that the Military Bowl?
The Military, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Military Bowl either.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't be happy about it, but
I mean, it's just the ACC doesn't have very many good bowl tie-ins. Chalk it up to everything else wrong with this conference.
Everything.
Just chalk it up. Oh, okay. Well, Max, I think that's going to wrap us up for today, though. Is there anything else you want to hit on before we get out of here about, the Kentucky game or the postseason?
No, I just want to say, like, that's how you end the regular season. Glad to see the team bounce back, the staff bounce back, put on a dominating win, not only to finish the season, but, against your rival. I think you set yourself up for a better portal season. So just happy, really, really happy to see that, and keep watching this chaos that is college football right now.
Yeah, man. I think this game says a lot about yourself as a program. I really love it. You went out there, you played your hearts out for all the seniors. A lot of really gritty performances from some banged up guys that we love. Very happy to be wrong about Miller Moss. And at the end of the day, you got Kentucky's coach fired, and we got a busy portal session in front of us. Strap on in. It's going to be a fun one.
Let's get it.
But that's going to round us out this week, guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a really fun season doing this with you guys. We're going to continue to give you guys great content throughout the postseason and the off season, as we always do. Please like, share, and subscribe, all that great stuff. And we will catch you on the next show. See y'all later, and go Cards.
See you. Go Cards.
Easy day.